Radio, 23 minutes after 1. And it's time now to catch up with Christy and Howard, who are down at Hospice and currently with John Knight. What's going on, guys?
Well, I have to say, yes, we are here at Hospice. Howard, I think this is one of those times of year when I first start to feel festive being here.
Absolutely. It's something we always do. It's always a part of Christmas for us, I think, for Hospice and for Manx Radio as well. We've got our festive sweaters on to, get into the spirit of things. I was just debating whether we're down at Hospice or up at Hospice. It's a very Manx thing, that, isn't it? Are you up at Hospice? Are you down at Hospice? I don't know.
Always up at Hospice. I don't know.
It's always a pleasure to be here. That's the main thing.
And I should say, your jumper is flashing at me.
Yeah, I know.
It's very festive indeed.
Half the lights have gone out, which is slightly worrying. I don't know whether
you need a new battery.
I don't know whether I need to insert a new battery somewhere, but I'll leave you to dwell on that.
So we are here. Thanks very much, Chris. And there'll be some live music a little bit later as well from the Shantymen, maybe even a choir. We'll see how we get on with that one.
We live in hope.
Exactly. But as you mentioned, we are here with the Chief Executive of Hospice, John Knight. First of all, Merry Christmas. It's lovely to see you again, John.
Thank you very much, and happy Christmas to both of you.
Oh, thank you very much indeed.
And how has the year been for you? What have been some of the standout moments here at Hospice?
I think overall a really positive year. Thinking about building upon last year, really. So I guess the two really important things are, firstly, the level of service delivery, which we very much committed to getting back to maximum service delivery, has continued throughout the year. So people always think of the inpatient unit, and all 11 beds have been open throughout the year, so that's been really good. And the clinical nurse specialist team out and about in the community, hospice at home as well. So, yeah, I think for me, although it's a fundamental, the fact that we've operated with all services throughout the year is really important. I was just saying to you off air, it's also a celebration to say that we've pretty much managed to fund all of that throughout the year. And again, I guess a celebration that financially we've managed to sustain ourselves, but it's a really, really tough battle. Hospice, from a cultural point of view, we take part in a national cultural survey called Birdsong that all hospices join in on, and they then give you a benchmark against, if you like, the world of hospice, hospice land, and we've done very well in that as well. So for me, it's lovely to feel that the culture in the organisation is generally positive. And then, of course, I guess that's borne out with the team or Hospice being recognised as Employer of the Year with the Awards for Excellence, which was a real thrill to see the team achieving that. Is fantastic.
And do you think the challenges vary from year to year, or does it stay fairly constant, the challenge of actually running a hospice like this?
I think that they will always be the sustainability to deliver the services that we're here to do. And of course, we work in a very constructive way with Manx Care. Myself and Teresa Cope meet on a regular basis. And I'm always quick to say, yes, we'd love more money from Manx Care, but we recognise they've got their own financial challenges. So we've done a lot of work to connect more with some of the island's high net worth individuals to tell them the story of running a hospice of this standard for the community. Because Hospice Isle of Man, I know from my career experience, is a standout organisation, and I really think the community should know how lucky they are to have this organisation. And I'm not saying that because I'm the chief exec. I mean, I would, but actually, as somebody who's seen a lot of charitable work over 40 years, this is a pretty amazing place for the island to have.
And the community supports you so well, doesn't it? I mean, you get some fabulous donations from, sort of private individuals, but also from the corporate sector as well. People really support, don't they?
Yes, of course, and it's difficult, isn't it, because you start naming names, but clearly Kell Properties have been hugely generous with the car for the car draw and a recent large cash donation. We were gutted, I have to say, 2 weeks ago when Santa's on a Bike was cancelled due to the bad weather, but Plan.com, again, are just incredible in the support they give us every year for Rebecca House. But I could just go on and on and on with, lots of the corporate successes of the Isle of Man who share that success with charities.
And I was actually chatting to someone the other day, actually, a Liverpool author, Bill Booth, who was over, and I think he's helping out now with, he's got some books coming out, and he is very keen to get involved with raising money for Rebecca House as well.
That's right, yeah. So he's got a history of supporting hospice movement in Liverpool, and now he's choosing to move to the Isle of Man, and I don't think he's changing his allegiance, he's adding Rebecca House to that. Really interesting character. And as Christy said, that stuff comes out the woodwork, where you get a phone call from a seasoned author saying, hey, I want to get behind what you're doing.
So what is coming up then in 2025 for you?
It's funny, at the Rebecca House ball back earlier this year in May, I think, I threw it out there that if somebody would sponsor me, I would do a skydive next year. And would anybody else in the room like to do that skydive? And I was just checking upstairs. We now have 22 people doing a skydive in May next year.
All at the same
Hospice.
time?
Yeah, well, it's 22 and counting, actually, because it was 21, and then when I came out of the room, it was 22. I'm guessing there may be some people in this room, Smiles Walker, not too far away there, might fancy a skydive as well.
We'll chat to him in a minute and find out.
I did one a few years ago for the hospice in Leicester, and the chair of the Board of Governors, trustees, came, so I've got to have a chat with Chris Hall about that as well.
Oh, gosh. So is this a tandem? I did a skydive for MENCAP, I think, many years ago, but we were on a static line, so I think you can either a static line or are you going the sort of tandem dive?
Yes, the tandem one. Certainly.
You hope.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. I haven't signed a piece of paper yet, but no, I always think it's quite amusing how you get velcroed, like absolutely rigidly tight to your tandem partner. Then you have no choice after that point. So, yeah, but. It's like everything, isn't it? You just got to trust and jump and off you go.
Trust to Velcro, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure it'll go great, and do keep us posted on that one. But we are asking people to pick a song, and yours is related to your very own Christmas in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Drive, am I allowed to say it? I've said it, haven't I? Yeah, Christopher driving home for Christmas, yeah. So it's difficult, actually, because my wife and I, when we were in Leicester, have a house over in Derbyshire, but equally we have a house here. So when I say driving home, I'm fortunate to be driving two homes, whether it's Isle of Man or Derbyshire. So yeah, on the boat tonight, the Manxman, back to Derbyshire. Well, thankfully, it does sound like the boat's going to go ahead.
Fingers crossed. Don't say that. You'll be tempting fate.
Exactly, I know. Well, I think it's time we got your Christmas song on for you. So, John Knight, thank you very much for chatting with us, and all the very best to you and your family for Christmas.
Thank you, and you.
Thank you.
3. It's now 20 minutes after 2, and it's time to head back over to Hospice and catch up with Christy and Howard.
We are loving the Christmas music, Chris Quirk.
Oh, thank you very much.
Very festive,
I thought we'd be very festive in the studio. I've got tinsel on my head. We've got Christmas trees in every corner. Well, you've seen it, Christy. It's probably the most festive studio you've ever seen in your life.
He's being a tiny bit sarcastic there, but it's fine. We'll let you off. Well, listen, we are surrounded by Christmas here at Hospice. They've got fabulous decorations here, as they do every year. We're now going to chat with Siobhan Allison, who is a volunteer for Hospice, but many people know you, Siobhan, as being slightly more involved than that.
Yes, I've worked for Hospice, Share the Care to start off with, employed by Nadine herself, and then moved up to Hospice in 2009 to work with Jackie Killier in the support services, and have been here, 17 years.
What drew you to Hospice in the first place?
The reason was my mum was a volunteer. And she was a volunteer in the old Allen Street warehouse, and there was a job going for part-time. I'd just come back from maternity of my two girls, and I needed to start speaking to adults. So Mum said, go for the job, and I got it. So loved every minute of it, every minute.
And what is it about this place? Because, we've been talking to various people over the years about how it's a bit special. What do you think makes Hospice special?
To me, it's there for everybody in the community, no matter who you are, no matter what you've got. It is there for everybody, and it does touch probably an awful lot of people's lives. So for me to be a volunteer and worked here is a privilege.
So can you give us an idea of what volunteering might actually involve? Because people might be listening to this thinking, you know what, I've thought about it. They might be a bit nervous, thinking, oh, I don't know whether I should do it or not. What would you say to anyone thinking about doing it? What do you get from it?
I get a lot of pleasure from it. Obviously, beforehand, before me working, I did help out with my mum. We used to do different things, even encourage my 2 young girls to do the bag drops and things like that years and years ago. I think you get a lot out of it, just giving any sort of charity, to be honest. And I do the IPU every other Wednesday, but I have done other things along the lines. I've been helping Tracy in the garden. I do the bucket collecting down at the Gaiety. It's just really rewarding.
So there's no typical day or volunteers day, could be anything, can it?
Well, it's up to you, really. Best thing to do is, if you feel you want to give something back and you have got time on your hands, go and do it. Go and speak to the fundraising or the volunteers office. And there's all sorts of different things out there. Because I've been in the administration, I like that. So I know a lot of the nurses and everybody there. So it's been a bit easier for me to come back into it and do the IPU. But just love it.
And you're a very active person. We've been talking to you about all the many things you've done over the years. You've got a big challenge coming up, haven't you?
Yes, I've been privileged to get a place for the London Marathon through Hospice. So that's my next challenge. We all do New Year's resolutions, but I made that challenge a long time ago, and I thought, right, I'll ask the question, and yes, they give me the place. So here I am now.
Oh gosh! And are you a regular runner, or is this something new?
Walker.
Walker.
I'm usually a walker. So I've done many things like for Hospice and Share the Care, Rebecca House, the End-to-End, the parish walk, all that sort of thing. I've jumped out of the airplane with Elaine Quine.
As you do.
As I do. And but now this is going to be the ultimate. So full on. I do a little bit of running, but as long as I cross over that line, it's just to get there.
Dare we ask then, Christy, how's the training going?
Difficult over the Christmas period, I have to say, but back out in a vengeance in January.
Good for you. I'm so impressed.
Wow.
We should just say, to volunteer for Hospice, you don't have to jump out of a plane or do a marathon.
Or do it? No, there are easier options available, I think.
Yeah, exactly. How much are you hoping to raise?
My target is 2,000, but anything is greatly appreciated, whatever you give. And if you want to take this journey with me, come with me.
Oh, that's a great idea. So how do people financially support you if they don't fancy the run itself?
If you don't want to, I'll be putting sponsorship forms around the Hospice shops, and I've got a Facebook page and Instagram under Siobhan Ellison.
Well, we wish you all the very best, Siobhan.
We do.
I get the impression that she's going to do this very well. It sounds like she's someone who just starts something and finishes it.
Have you got fancy dress, or are you doing it in sort of hospice wear, or?
I will probably do it in hospice wear, yes. I'm only 5 foot tall, so I don't need anything to drag me down.
Well, she's doing a mighty, mighty job flying the flag and is making volunteering sound like great fun as well.
Which I'm sure it is.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be speaking to lots more people here at Hospice, finding out more about fundraising, volunteers, everything as well. So we wish you a very happy Christmas. Are you going to be with your family this Christmas?
Yes, my brother-in-law actually, and we've got my sister-in-law over from Jersey, new baby, and it's going to be good.
Oh, goodness. So turkey on Christmas Day, a run on Boxing Day?
27th, I think.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us, Siobhan. Chris, we've got lots more people to chat to, some Christmas music coming up as well, so do come back to us. Howard and Christy live here at Hospice for this afternoon.
Well, thank you, guys. Let's get back to the music with a bit of Jimmy Ray. So it's now 20 minutes away from 3 o'clock this afternoon, and I think we'll head back over to Hospice and catch up with Howard and Christy. What's going on, guys?
Well, we are here with Cheryl Young. We've just had a lovely chat in the background about all things festive here at Hospice and beyond. Cheryl is from the clinical team. Just give us a little idea of what you do here.
I'm the nurse consultant here at Hospice, so I work alongside the medical team. I also manage community services here at Hospice and also education.
We were just chatting off air there about something Miles actually raised. We were talking to the president, Sir Miles Walker, earlier, and he was saying how one of the differences with hospice is that you make a point of making it not just comfortable for patients, but essentially they can have what they want. And when I say have what they want, you even allow pets to come in here. Tell us about some of the pets that have been here in the past.
We do indeed. So we're very much try and do advanced care planning with our patients. So that means that we try and get people's wishes and needs, especially towards the life. So we've had quite unusual pets, not just the run-of-the-mill dogs, which are absolutely gorgeous, and a few cats. But we've had some owls in, we've had actually a few snakes, which some people like, some people aren't so. We've had, we were talking about the little ponies, that come in. But we actually had a lady a little while ago that owned some stables, and she had a favourite horse, of course, which was massive. But we were able to bring the horse in round the back, and we opened the doors from her bedroom, able to wheel her bed out, and she was able to pat her horse. And actually, the other patients that were with us enjoyed the horse just as much as the lady did. So, we've had sheep, we've had a donkey in, we've had a goat. So, all in the hospice as well as outside in the garden. But so we do try our best with the pets.
That sounds pretty impressive, it has to be said. Rumour has it, speaking of pets and cheerful things at Christmas, that you are Hospice's Mrs. Christmas.
Well, yes, we were chatting about this before we went online, and Vicky, that's sadly not able to join us, she's working with the kids today. Vicky and I share an office, and yes, we are the Christmas people. So we have fake Christmas fire in our office. We have lights. We have a snowman lit up. We have Santa Claus, and we also have a curtain that you put your head through and take pictures of. So we've tried our best to get all the staff to get their picture taken. Some are more
keen than others,
especially our CEO. We haven't managed to get John yet, but
come on,
hoping we will. So yes, we are the Christmas girls.
We'll have to nobble him quickly. He's off to Derbyshire.
Exactly. In fact, I believe there's a competition being judged right now.
There is a competition. So every year we have a competition. We have a theme. This year it's Christmas trees. So each service or each office has to make a decoration for their door. So I think there's a little bit of cheating going on in some services.
No, honestly.
Obviously. But yes, it's being judged at the minute by a visitor. So I have tried to bribe her with a few mince pies. I believe, Howard,
Good move.
You are the mince pie king.
Well, I do make the odd. I could have brought some for a bit of bribery.
Oh, well. So that's going on at the moment. We had a Christmas quiz the other day with the staff. So actually, Vicky and I won that. So I don't think we'll be winning the Christmas tree thing, but you never know.
You never know, it has to be said. Christmas Day itself, will you be working?
I am working Christmas Day. I'm the medical cover for Christmas Day, but we have the nurses here. So nurses, of course, we couldn't manage without our housekeeping staff, and also very important are our kitchen staff, because we do offer Christmas dinner not just to our patients but also to the relatives. We try and make the Braddon Lounge, and we set up Christmas dinner and everything. But if the patient's unable to come and sit down, of course we try and take tables into the patient's own rooms, and the family come in and can have Christmas with them.
Because at the end of the day, that's what Christmas is about, family.
Of course it is. That's really important. So we have an open Christmas Day. They can come in at any time. The staff are here. We try and dress up, although hospice is sometimes can be a very sad place. We try and make it as happy as we can for our patients. Because it's about quality of life, and we try and meet the needs of our patients and families.
And, as you're saying, obviously it can be a tough time. I can imagine it would be. But, your work must also be very rewarding for you.
It's extremely rewarding for us. I've been here 27 years, so it is about how much we can do for our patients and for the families. And if you asked any member of the team, I think we get so much reward from being able to care for our patients and be able to spend time and offer support and advice. That's what it's about.
Well, it's wonderful work that you do, and we're very grateful that you do it. You have chosen a Christmas song, Cheryl.
I have indeed, and I know for many it'll be a, ooh, no. But it is my favourite, and we were just talking about us watching the film the other day. So it is Last Christmas by Wham.
Wham alert! Wham alert! Wham alert!
Radio, Friday afternoon, 20 minutes after 3, and let's venture over to hospice, because I do believe we're here with Christy now, but Howard is there, but not as we imagine him so. Is that correct?
That's true.
That's a bit
Howard
worrying,
is
isn't it?
here, all dressed up and ready to go, because Howard, you've been a very busy boy this morning anyway with your, I'm going to call them the Santy men.
Oh, I see what we did there. Mine's a Santy.
Yours is a Santy.
Yeah, that's very good. Yes, we've been out, so it's Christmas, isn't it? So the Shanty boys, as we call them, but really known in real life as Mine's a Shanty, or for this festive special, Mine's a Santy. Or Santa.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were out this morning. Can anyone remember the name of the actual lovely home in Ramsey? I can't. It's got a Manx name. It's a beautiful care home up in Ramsey, or a home there. We were up there this morning singing to some of the people there. They really enjoyed it. It was really lovely. It had a mince pie, lots of smiles, lots of clapping along, lots of joining in. It was terrific fun. And then we thought, the guy said, well, tell you what, we're all heading back Douglas way in any case. We can come along to hospice and sing a couple of numbers there, if you fancy it. So here we are. So I'm just swapping my shirt. Just whacking on my, festive shirt on. We normally have a nice shanty shirt, but today it's Christmas, isn't it? Almost. So we've got a shanty shirt on. And these are the happy shanty men here. Say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, very good indeed. And we've all known each other for, 10 years, 15 years?
All my life, brother.
All my life. It's a long time. And yes. And actually, in fact, most people have sung, we've all sung one way or another with someone else at some stage, I think.
For about 50 years, yes, Howard, 50 years.
50 years, I don't like to think about it.
We're still the Manx Youth Choir, at heart. And La Minnick was where we were this morning.
La Minnick, well done. I'm glad you got the name there. Lovely place up in Ramsey. And here we are at hospice today. So yeah, we've all sung one way or another, and now we're going to sing a little bit. We thought we're here. Mine's a shanty, mine's a Santy. We're going to do a little...
something festive.
Something festive. I saw 3 ships, given a little shanty-esque twist. I'm just going to hand my microphone to my glamorous assistant.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
And what was in those ships, all 3?
On Christmas Day, on Christmas Day.
And what was in those ships, all 3?
On Christmas Day morning.
The Virgin Mary and Christ were there.
On Christmas Day, on Christmas Day.
The Virgin Mary and Christ were there.
On Christmas Day in the morning. Way home away, 3 ships in the bay, sailing in today on Christmas Day in the morning. With a sail those ships all three, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Pray with a sail those ships all three, on Christmas Day in the morning. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Oh, they sailed into Bethlehem, on Christmas Day in the morning. Way haul away, three ships in the bay, sailing in today, on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the bells on earth they sang,
on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day.
And all the bells on earth shall ring,
on Christmas Day in the morning.
And all the angels in heaven shall sing,
on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day.
And all the angels in heaven shall sing,
on Christmas Day in the morning. Way haul away, three ships in the bay, sailing in today, on Christmas Day in the morning. And all the souls on earth shall sing, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. And all the souls on earth shall sing, on Christmas Day in the morning. Then let us all rejoice amain, on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. Then let us all rejoice amain, on Christmas Day in the morning.
Oh, that was brilliant. Well done. Mine's a Santy, we're going to call you. How are you multitasking?
Santy, yeah. We might keep that for next Christmas, I think.
It's mine. Oh, I expect copyright fees from that,
Yeah,
thank you.
50p, and that's your lot.
That's Howard in generous mode because it's Christmas. So we are live from Hospice, Howard and Christy and the Santy Men, and lots of fabulous people we're speaking to this afternoon. Do come back to us shortly, Chris. We've got a whole host of other people to speak to.
Thank you, Christy. And we are joined with Howard and Christy from Hospice. What's going on down there, guys?
Well, Howard is very much a multitasker today because not only is he presenting a radio show, he briefly put his broadcast mic down and picked up a singing mic just a few moments ago.
It's marvellous. There's every end to my talent. That's what I always think.
And if you missed the Mine's a Santy
You've
group,
got to be careful how you say that.
don't worry, we're hoping to get another song in, but also we've shared a video of part of their performance, which was a glorious and very festive thing. Many thanks to you guys.
It was absolutely wonderful. And now we have two, not one. Count them, not one but two. We're in stereo. Two guests with us now, Kathy Foley and Liz Sharples. I've got Kathy in a lovely, very sparkly, festive top. Kathy, it's looking nice.
Thank you.
And you are the hospice shop manager.
I'm the retail manager for all our 9 shops at Hospice on the island, yes.
And tell us about the shops. Just how important are the shops for the hospice movement?
Well, apart from the contribution of the money that they raise for the charity, it's very important that we have our volunteers out there that we look after, somewhere for them to go. And obviously our volunteers help us with the contribution of not having to pay so much staff. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's in the region of £1 million that they save us.
Which is a massive amount, I must admit. And again, lots of volunteers, of course, working all the time in the shops.
Yes, the volunteers work from 9 o'clock until 4, 6 days a week. Our Duke Street store and Strand Street store are open 7 days a week through until January, and then we will close back down to 6 days a week until April, and then we'll be back open again for 7 days.
And Kathy, one of the things about the shops, it's obviously the donations that you get. People are very good to donate to Hospice.
Absolutely. We're very, very lucky on the island. All our donations stay on the island. Just this year alone, a few months ago, we were donated, a gentleman rang us to say that he had a donation of Lego that he'd like to donate. And of course, we did all what we do and sent our van down to pick it up. And when we got down there, they rang and said, could we send another van? And we were really, really shocked at the amount of Lego that the gentleman donated. And when it came back, we were blown away. And most of that hadn't been opened. It obviously was a collection that he'd had. And most of it was one, and again duplicated. So he kept one pristine and was sealed. That's raised us between £12,000 and £15,000.
My Lord.
My goodness.
You could have built another Lego hospice shop.
Absolutely. And believe me, that came in on the Thursday evening around 4:30, and it was in our stores, price labelled and on sale at 10:30 the next morning.
Whoa.
But that's the thing, because you do often find you have to research what you've been given.
Absolutely. And we have a team of staff that work our telephones, that set everything up for donations. Those chaps are on hand all of the time, Googling and working out what things are worth.
It just shows as well that at this time of year, you can get pretty much anything in your shops, can't you?
Well, today alone, I was really quite, well, I'm not shocked now after 9 years, but people have been today, have you got a table? Have you got some chairs? Have you got some knives and forks? Because obviously we've all got visitors for Christmas, and then after Christmas, the tables and chairs will all come back again, ready for next year.
The Lego's a strange one. Any other really strange things which have sort of popped up and you think, oh my lordy, what are we going to do with that?
Yes, somebody just this summer actually rang us and said that during COVID they'd been working from home and they'd built themselves a chalet to work in, and maybe a shed in the garden. No, this was a full-blown chalet, and she donated it to the charity. But it actually, we had to get the police to move it, we had to get lorries, flatbeds and everything, and we managed to sell it.
That's incredible.
Thank the Lord she didn't want it wrapping.
So just remind people about your opening hours over Christmas.
We are open, we close tonight at 5 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll be open from 10 till 5 in Strand Street and Duke Street. And the rest of the stores will be open till 4. And then we're open again on Monday, 10 till 5 in Strand Street and Duke Street for the other stores. And then Tuesday we close at 2 to give them all a little holiday.
Quite right too. And it's one of those things, I think it's becoming quite popular now, isn't it, that people reuse and recycle for Christmas, especially when it comes to, sort of Secret Santa gifts. That's quite good. So getting in our charity shops and the hospice and the various others around the island as well is a really good thing to do, because you're giving back to the community and not creating waste. Sorry, I'm looking at you, Howard. I shouldn't be looking at you when I'm talking about waste.
No, I'm very good. I'm very good. I'm a good recycler. I am a good recycler.
I can believe that.
Most of my T-shirts are 30 years old, so...
Well, we're also joined by Liz Sharples. And Liz, your involvement with hospice has a very personal link, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it does, Christy. Very special. Hospice gave our family such tremendous support that I didn't realise was available on the island. And we were very much out of the system or Manx care, in that my husband was being treated in the UK. But when it came to the stage that we passed the treatment stage, we referred to the hospice team. And from the moment that Laura Harrison picked the phone up, and I couldn't say the word hospice actually at the time, because it was a big change in our lives. And we'd spent 2 years, sort of working through what we had to work through. And Laura, straight away, everything got moving. Gilly Culshaw, who headed up the team, came out to visit us, put everything in place. We didn't have to ask for anything. It was there. We had the advice, and very difficult questions. That something that Chris, my husband, and I don't think anybody wants to talk about. But to be asked a question of where would you like to die, it's a tough one, and it's sort of something that I guess an awful lot of people, well, everybody has to, not everybody, but a lot of people go through that. Mm-hmm. But it was made in a way that it wasn't something that we had to worry about or get upset about, but it was something that was positive in that it was a choice. And I had no idea, and of course, Chris didn't want us to have, he didn't think we'd be able to cope, and he said, if I can get into hospice, that would be great. And I just looked at him and said, but Chris, we can manage at home. And the only reason I said that, and the only reason I could say with that, was because of the hospice at home support, the confidence that they gave us that we could manage. And yes, it was daunting, but it was what we wanted. It was what Chris was wanted and what we wanted as a family. And it meant we could be at home living as a family for much longer than we thought it would be possible. And I can honestly say it was only because of the confidence that I was given. I've never cared for anybody. I've got no medical experience. But I did know how important it was to make sure that Chris was looked after in the best possible way. And we had that even down to we were at one end of the island. The hospice team covered the whole island, the team. And unfortunately at the time that Chris was very, very ill, there was somebody very, very ill down the south of the island. So it meant at 2 o'clock in the morning, weather like this, equivalent to Storm Darren, they would be driving. I would ring them at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, look, I could really do with some help. Don't worry, Liz, we'll be with you. We're just down south at the moment. We'll be with you as soon as we can. And they were there. There was no feeling of, gosh, I'm being a nuisance or whatever. It was fantastic. Whatever we needed, whatever support we needed, and that's, talking to the family, any questions that we had, because it's something that we'd never experienced before. It was just unbelievable, and I hope that this broadcast makes people understand what there is and the help that's out there for palliative care.
It gives a whole new meaning to the term above and beyond, doesn't it? It really does.
Absolutely.
And as a result, you've become a fundraiser.
Yes, I have, and I've got a wonderful group of friends who've supported hospice, I would say, over the last 20 years, and they're very clever people in that, very talented in terms of administration, organisation, cooking, and over the years they've spent a lot of time preparing canapes, very special canapes, for hospice functions being held through the north of the island, and we would raise funds to buy the champagne. And then just this last year, after sort of everything quietened down, my friend said, look, we'd really love to do something in memory of Chris, and it was an absolute no-brainer for me to say I'd love to do it for hospice at home. And so we spent 3 or 4 months whereby my friends put together fantastic canapes. We had over 70 people who had a most fantastic night. We called it Tattinger and Champagne. And luckily enough, one of our friends has a beautiful home who hosted the whole event. So everything that was raised had been funded and sponsored by somebody, the National Farmers Union. We had Marks and Spencer's, a lot of local companies. And I'm sorry if I've not mentioned, the accountancy firm. I'm trying to think. It'll come back to me. But we were overwhelmed, and we raised double what we hoped to raise, what we'd set as our token. And of course, the first day of sunshine in July happened to be the evening that we had the event. And we had a beautiful singer, Chris's nephew's girlfriend, Rachel Dalton, who provided entertainment the whole evening. So by the end of the night, as well as raising lots of funds, everybody had a fantastic time, and we were dancing at the end of the night.
And I have to say, when she says lots of funds, because of this, you've raised £16,000,
Yes,
which is extraordinary. And, you know, I know we were talking just off air there, the Christian musician, and it sort of links into the song that you've chosen.
Yes, so I've chosen David Bowie and Bing Crosby, the little drummer boy. Chris was a musician and just such a great admirer of David Bowie.
And what a man to admire. Thank you so much for talking to us today. All the very best and happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas, and happy Christmas to everybody I know.
Inner City and Good Life on Manx Radio, 11 minutes after 4. Good afternoon. Well, time now to hand over to Christy, who is at hospice. Now, I believe we'll be handing over to Mine's a Santi. Now, if you've just heard the news about the Manxman not sailing on Saturday, Christy, mine's a loaf of bread.
Oh, very good. I see what you did there. Howard's very impressed. Yeah, this next little bit here at Hospice Isle of Man is going to be thoroughly musical, because not only have we managed to convince Howard and his merry men to stay and do another song for us, but we're also going to have the hospice choir in a little bit. And we're calling you Mine's a Santi. H, what festive number have you got for us now?
OK, so we are now going to give a rendition of a famous one from the 16th century, Gaudete. Everyone knows it. Luckily, we found a translation of the Latin for the verses as well. So we've got a translation of the original Latin for the verses.
And all I'm going to say is listen very carefully to the translation. I'm not suggesting Howard had anything to do with it, but Howard had quite a lot to do with it. I'm going to multitask now, and I'm going to try and set a video recording at the same time so that we will post it to our Facebook pages afterwards. In the meantime, Mine's a Santi. Take it away.
Gaudete, gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, 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 Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete.
Christmas time is here again, Jesus to remember. Tinsel's been on sale since May, stolen since September.
Gaudete, gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, 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 Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete.
It's a lovely time of year, festive thoughts are added. Think of those less fortunate, then go out and get bladdered. Gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete. Singing carols, meeting friends, trying to be merry, buying nuts we'll never eat, drinking last year's sherry. Gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete.
Writing Christmas cards with glee, go to buy the stamps, look, just send one to Gran and Gramps, do the rest on Facebook.
Gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete.
Hanging up the mistletoe, hoping you'll be kissed there, really only getting one, that was from your sister.
Gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete, Christus est natus, ex Maria Virgine, gaudete.
Yes. Oh, that was wonderful. We've got an audience as well this time round, because we are soon going to be hearing from the Hospice Choir. As I said, if you weren't able to catch all of that, we are going to post a video on our Facebook page, so do check it back. Howard and Minds of Sanity, thank you ever so much, and happy Christmas to you all.
And sadly, we're going to hand over for the last time to Christy and Howard at Hospice. But you've got something very special lined up, haven't you?
We have indeed. Not sad at all. We're going out with a bang with the wonderful Hospice Choir with a couple of numbers. Stay tuned. They'll be coming up in 2 minutes. Before that, we have the equally wonderful and fantastically important Vanessa Smith. And your title is?
Head of Income Generation.
It's an important title for a very important job.
It is an important title, and John Knight often talks about the numbers, the figures, the amount of money that I have to raise or that the team has to raise, and so I tend not to think about that because it's a big number.
How long have you been involved?
I've been here for almost 3 years now, and each year that number that we need to raise gets a little bit bigger, and each year my wonderful team step up and make it happen.
It is all about the team. It sounds quick when you say it, head of income generation. I suspect the job itself is slightly more complex.
Well, it is all about the team. You're right, 100%. They are next level. And obviously none of it could happen without the amazing support of the Manx public. Again this year, there just aren't words for how generous people are and the support that they give to Hospice year in, year out, whether they're playing our lottery every month, whether they are buying things in our shops, whether they're buying, obviously we've currently got the Christmas car on again, and it's just amazing. People are awesome. So Hospice really belongs to everybody on the island. My team do an amazing job every year, gathering all that money in, and we keep moving. Even bigger target next year.
The target always goes up, doesn't it? Always goes up. And just a ballpark figure, I'm not expecting something exact here, but how much money are we talking about having to generate to keep the hospice movement going?
Okay, so this year I can give you a figure of around about £6.8 million to operate hospice for this calendar year. Of that, we work with our partners at Manx Care. We get a roughly £1.7 million from them, and the rest we get from the Manx public, from grants and trusts, from generous donors. And when you think about it in those terms, it's a phenomenal amount of money and a phenomenal effort by everybody on the island to keep hospice doors open.
It is, and we've said it again, we'll say it before and again, teamwork, the fantastic team here, both the staff who work here, the volunteers, and as you say, the amazing Manx public.
Absolutely, it is. It's the Manx Public, and you just mentioned the volunteers there. You know, obviously, if we didn't have the volunteers, then that 6.8 million would be even bigger again. So it's phenomenal. Everybody comes together, pulls together to keep this place running, and hopefully it means something to everybody on Island, because it really is. At this time of year, when you look back, it's another amazing year.
It is an amazing year, an amazing organisation here. Listen, rumour has it again, you have a rather nice Christmas message for us.
Well, I do. I've written a few words just to pause and have a little think at this time of year. While Christmas is a time of happiness for lots of people, there are many others who struggle. When you feel your happiest Christmases are behind you, because this is the time of year that you miss a loved one the most, it can be so hard to plaster on your face a smile and be around others for whom this is the best time of year. There's room for us all, however, and there's no right or wrong way to be. If you're spending time with someone who's grieving this Christmas and feel a little uncomfortable about what to do or say, the very best thing to do is to ask them. Ask them if they would like you to do something, like maybe light a special candle for the Christmas table, have a toast to loved ones who are no longer with us, or pull up an extra chair in remembrance. Be ready to listen and respect their choices. This is no time for opinions. If you know someone who's coping with loss this Christmas, then a Christmas card posted through their door sharing one of your best memories of their loved ones, or offering to get together for a cup of tea and a chat in this frenetic run-up to the big day might be very welcome, especially if they're feeling a bit lonely. Whatever the circumstances, saying something is always better than saying nothing at all. You simply cannot make them feel more sad than they already do, so reach out in the true spirit of Christmas. Donna Ashworth is the most wonderful writer. She just seems able to find words that make tough situations that little bit better. If you are facing Christmas with dread because you're missing someone, here's a little bit of advice from her book entitled Loss. I'll read it out now in the hope it might help someone out there. This is called On Those Days by Donna Ashworth. On those days when you miss someone the most, as though your memories are sharp enough to slice through skin and bone, remember how they loved you. Remember how they loved you, and do that for yourself. In their name, in their honour, love yourself as they loved you. They would like that. On those days when you miss someone the most, love yourself harder. Wherever you are over the next few days, whoever you're with and whatever you do, all of us here at Hospice, volunteers and staff, wish you peace.
Lovely words. Thank you ever so much for all your hard work, and all the team and volunteers here as well, and a very happy Christmas to you.
And happy Christmas to you.
And Christy, we are going to go out with a fantastic choir.
We are. Vanessa, that was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. We're all quite moved here at Hospice. It's been an absolute joy being here this afternoon, and we're going to finish with some joy with the fabulous Hospice Isle of Man choir. Take it away.
Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies, with angelic
And they're now going to finish with one of the most joyous Christmas songs.
Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive the King. Let every heart prepare in room. And heaven and nature sing, and nature sing, and nature sing, and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, the Saviour reigns. Let us our songs employ. What fields and floods, what hills and plains. Repeat the sounding joy, the sounding joy, sounding joy, sounding joy. Repeat the sounding joy. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love.
That was superb. Thank you so much. And just to warn you, you've been live on Facebook. I didn't tell you that, but that was wonderful. It has been, as ever, a lovely afternoon here at Hospice
It's part
H.
of Christmas, isn't it? It is part of Christmas.
It really is. And we've got to say thank you to Matty, our engineer, who's worked very, very hard
Thank
this
you very
afternoon.
much. Not
He
even
does
had
it-
a coffee.
I know, that's the thing. He does it just to sit there
Runs
and
on fresh
enjoy.
air.
He does. And to all of the team here, Steph and everyone that's organised this afternoon as well. And Chris, of course, back in the studio, holding the fort. It just remains for us to say a very happy Christmas and Oleg Yenel to all of you here at Hospice and everyone listening.
Absolutely. A very happy Christmas!
Merry Christmas!